to another episode of Routes Through Pokemon Adventures. I'm Ruby.
And I'm Shayalock.
And together we are father-daughter duo going through the main series of Pokemon games. We're also watching through the Pokemon anime and reading the Pokemon Adventures manga. And today we have joining us...
Flame.
As he continues this journey with us through these particular chapters and episodes.
Yes, and we will be covering 3 chapters of the manga and 6 episodes of the anime. But before we dive into that, let's catch up on what we've been doing. I recently bought and built a desk for my room.
That's exciting. Nice place to put your papers while you're doing the recording.
Yep, we had to change a little bit of things up because it kind of is in the corner where I usually sit.
Yes. On my end, I finished catching all those Google Pokemon.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
I got myself Mew finally, so... And then the congratulations screen, it gave me Eevee and Pikachu to say congratulations.
That's cool.
So that was fun. Been playing some Pokemon Go, continue with that. It's not been that long since our last recording, so not a whole lot has been updated or changed, I guess.
Anything for you, Flame?
Watching a lot more Pokeflix than I used to. That's for sure.
You had a lot of homework to do for these episodes.
Yeah, I don't think much else, actually, that I can think of.
Well, since we don't have much to catch up on, let's just jump into the manga. Starting with Adventure 149, Curious Kingdra.
Alright, so we just had them try to catch Lugia, and Gold missed because he wasn't using his pool cue because he didn't have it on him at the time, and so then Chris was the one who was able to get it perfectly lined up with her kick because she has perfect aim with those kicks. However, Lugia did vanish when the ball connected, but when they looked at the Pokeball, Lugia wasn't there, so somebody else maybe caught it? Or
just teleported.
It flew away very fast, which is what they think. They realize that Lugia must be very fast because it must have flown away while they were all momentarily blinded by the flash of light. Chris says they should use the tracking system on the Pokedexes. Since they met Lugia, it should help them find the Pokemon again, like it did with Suicune. But the Pokedex is taking a long time to locate it. And if I remember correctly, the boys had no idea about the feature and were kind of stunned by it. And she's like, you knew about it, right? They're like, oh, yeah, we totally knew.
Well, yeah, it says, didn't you know about that? And then, like, little thought bubbles from both of them, say nothing.
Yeah, that's
with, like,
what it was.
sweat dripping down their face.
Yeah, that part was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
And she's explaining how it works, and then, what's his name?
Silver?
Silver is the one, like, the black...
The main character.
Gold?
With the...
He calls her motor mouth prissy girl, and she's like, I just trying to tell you how it works, and who I am and stuff.
Yep.
He's really rude. It makes me more frustrated with him. I'm like, dude, she's just talking and being happy.
So while it's taking too long to locate, Silver goes to investigate a cave. He discovers that it is Lugia's lair, and it is explained that all of the Whirl Islands are connected by tunnels, according to legend. And trust me, they are. I've played the game.
Wait, they are?
Yeah, all 4 islands are connected by underground tunnels. But you can't necessarily go from one to another all the time. Like, because of the cliffs and stuff, you can't necessarily go up them, so you have to be careful where you're going.
That's actually kind of cool.
It is a lot of fun. You'll have to explore and catch up, because we've already got 8 badges in our games.
Uh-huh.
Ruby and I, we've got our 8 badges in Gold and Crystal and Silver.
So you just have to fight the Elite Four?
Correct, so you better hurry it up. Silver says there are signs of a battle, and in our translated version, it omits the part about there being bloodstains.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Gosh.
So, battles and stuff are a little more rough in the manga than what we get translated to us.
Okay.
Then the Pokedexes all end up with an error when trying to locate Lugia, and they think their Pokedexes might be being jammed, or that Lugia was captured by someone else and they can't detect a captured Pokemon. We then cut to Lieutenant Surge, which sort of suggests narratively that he has Lugia, because they just said maybe somebody else caught it, which is why we can't detect it, and then we see Lieutenant Surge. And usually that's a way to be like, haha, this person must have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we don't get any confirmation about that. Then the other guy from his boat gives Surge a message that calls for all gym leaders to assemble in Goldenrod City, and it was sent by the Pokemon Association. Back to the trainers, they decide the battle is what probably caused Lugia to go on a rampage, like the battle in the cave that Silver saw the evidence of. And Silver thinks that whoever caught it was probably the same one that battled it in the cave, meaning that the whole thing was a trap. Silver is leaving to find the enemy, and Chris says he can't go alone, but Gold just lets him because they're all hunting the same enemy, and so their paths will meet again. Then Oak calls and gets a hold of Chris, and says he can't get a hold of Gold, who is, of course, with her. He's like, I'm right here. So he asks them both to head to the Indigo Plateau, which is also where we're headed in our games. Meanwhile, Silver is flying with his Murkrow to an island with a waterfall. He and Gold were on one island, Lugia first appeared over another, and the lair was on the third one, so this island is the last of the 4. And so he's looking for Lugia still, I think. He has Gyarados calm the whirlpool, Kingdra splits the waterfall, so it has the waterfall ability, and Feraligatr is the one surfing. So 3 HMs. Silver enters into a secret chamber behind the waterfall. He kneels on the ground and says, I'm back. A voice mentions that the 3 talents are needed to get back into that area, and then we can see that it is Lance of the Elite 4.
Wait, isn't Lance bad in the manga?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that's not good.
Silver stole a Pokemon and a Pokedex.
Yeah?
So it's not that surprising he'd be working for a bad guy.
I thought he might be good with just different intentions.
Yeah, I was with you and even Gold started thinking that.
Dang it.
Now you can finally find your way to the sanctum on your own. You deserve to be here, Silver, is what Lance tells Silver at the end, showing that they totally know each other and have been working together.
Dang it. Now, let's move on to Adventure 150, Chinchou in Charge.
So now we're at Toho Falls, which is apparently a border between Kanto and Johto. Suicune is there watching and is nearing its choice of a partner. At the falls, Brock, Misty, and Erica are reaching a bridge to cross the falls, but it turns out to be a broken bridge. We don't count that, it's just the manga, but still. It's not a surprise that a bridge broke again. So Brock uses Onyx to be the bridge instead. They would have waited for the Aqua, like the SS Aqua, but it hasn't been sticking to its normal schedule lately. And the Magnet Train isn't completed yet, and they can't risk missing the meeting of gym leaders in Goldenrod. This conversation is between Brock and Erica as Misty is lost in thought. Then a swarm of Zubat, Golbat, and Crobat show up, and Misty falls. She uses Starmie to catch onto the waterfall and start to rise back up, but then she sees a wild Krabby stuck in the falls and sets out to rescue it. At the Pokemon Association headquarters, Bill is demanding the director to tell him why all the gym leaders are being summoned.
Wow, so impatient. Just wait.
Suddenly, a Shuriken Pokeball, like Koga had in the Cerise Island stuff, lands on the desk. And what's up on the ceiling, Flame?
The ninja gym leader.
Janine, along with her...
Spinnerack? No.
The close evolution of Spinnerack, Ariados.
I don't know where Pokemon... I just knew that she was hanging upside down from the ceiling.
Like a creepy ninja bat.
Yeah.
And she's the new Fuchsia City gym leader we had learned in a previous chapter. So with just one gym leader and Bill there, the director begins explaining why they were summoned. First, he talks about earning gym badges and how any trainer who wins all of them will get to go straight to the finals in the tournament. So they're having the tournament like they did before in the first volumes, but now there's a reason to have the gym badges about skipping ahead.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Because after the criminals had gotten a hold of the badges, the director wants to make them honorable again, and this will bring trainers to gyms. It'll make people want to go earn these things.
Mm-hmm.
He says he'll go into more detail when the other Kanto gym leaders arrive. Then we see Blue is outside the director's door. Sabrina is still on Mount Silver for her recovery, and Surge is on the Aqua. Then we see Misty laying on the ground, water dripping on her, and Starmie standing by. The Krabby is also there, and she says she couldn't leave it behind, especially since she had a Krabby once that she got from a friend. This is referencing the trade for the Gyarados with Red back on the Seafoam Island when he had to battle Dragonite to try to get the surf and failed. So she gave him Gyarados so he could surf. Remember all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's where that Krabby came from that she's talking about. Misty flashes back to wishing Red good luck on the gym exam and that she will be thinking of him. When her and Brock leave, she decides to go back to talk to him or something, but then she sees that Red is quite cheerfully chatting with Yellow on a video call, and that makes Misty sad, which suggests that she has a thing for Red.
Mm-hmm.
And thinks that Red has feelings for Yellow, even though Red doesn't have a clue. So anyway, she runs off, and we're back to the present. Misty has Chinchou light up the area they are in behind the falls, and Suicune is there.
Now it's Adventure 151, Lovely Lanturn.
Suicune and Misty battle, and she realizes her strength is being tested. Meanwhile, Brock and Erica get an email because they're too late getting to Goldenrod. The summary mentions that all the gym leaders will be battling in an exhibition match at the tournament. Then they see the battle happening at the waterfall. There is a weird mental sensation from Suicune, and Starmie is responding to it and writing down what it's getting from Suicune in star glyphs, just like when Starmie had sent out star glyphs to communicate to those on Cerise Island. These are Suicune's thoughts. A great evil is stirring. I require a partner to aid me in combating it. I have chosen you. Why? You are a water expert, and one who would not abandon even the least of creatures. So Misty accepts. She now has Suicune in a Pokeball, and Brock and Erica inform her about the gym leader battle coming up. It is going to be Kanto versus Johto. It's going to be a battle between the Kanto gym leaders and the Johto gym leaders. Pryce will be the captain of the Johto leaders, and that must be the special role that the director mentioned a few chapters back, that he had a special role for him for the Pokemon League. And so these three are off to Goldenrod and the Pokemon League. To be continued.
Alright, now that we finished the manga, let's get into some anime. Starting with episode 247, or season 5, episode 36. Will the real Oak please stand up? Or Nisei Okido, Pokemon Sanryu Taiketsu. Or Fake Okido, Pokemon Sanryu Confrontation. And this does make me a little happy. 3 exclamation points and a question mark.
That's pretty impressive.
Alright. I'll let them slide now.
They're trying to make up for it.
Apparently.
So, we have Ash and Co. stop in a small-town diner and hear Professor Oak's radio show with DJ Mary. Another aspect of the game coming in. Oak mentions that there are some who think the blinking core light of Starmie might be used to communicate with outer space. So, more in the Pokemon are aliens conspiracy theory. Turns out Oak and DJ Mary are having a live recording in Maroon Town. Not a town that exists in our game. The recording will be the next day, and Brock sees that it is on the way to Blackthorn City, and he loves DJ Mary, so they're going to get there for the show.
And while they're sitting there, she has Professor Oak do his poem, and it's not great.
Well, poetry can be challenging enough as it is, and translating a poem that works in Japanese into English might be really tricky.
Well, it sounds like that's just the way he does his poems.
Maybe. But it might make more sense in Japanese. Or sound better or something.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, Team Rocket, hungry and tired, enter Maroon Town. They learn about the show and how there will be a free lunch for the stars, and so they decide to disguise themselves as DJ Mary, Oak, and Meowth standing on top of Wobbuffet is a producer.
And DJ Mary is pretty convincing. Jessie for DJ Mary. Professor Oak, though, I can tell them apart.
Yeah. Still a pretty good costume, though.
Yeah.
It looks like he could be Oak's brother or something.
Mm-hmm.
Joy finds them and is convinced even though they are early. So Team Rocket gets some food and start answering questions of a bunch of children that show up. And these answers are not good.
Mm-mm.
But one of these kids is holding an Eevee for another count on Eeveelution.
Woohoo!
But it's just an Eevee.
Doesn't matter, Eevees count for all of them.
Don't you see the first part of Eeveelution? Eevee! Lucian!
I wasn't sure on who was doing what voices, but I was pretty sure that the fake DJ Mary is also voiced by Jessie and Misty's actress, because her nervous laugh and such sounded very much like Misty's laughs, except like grown up now. Like she just sounded like an older Misty. Not quite Jessie, just an older Misty. And so I had to assume that the fake Oak is Brock and James' actor, and like all the voices that actor does, it's not that surprising that he can sound very well in these things. Because I wasn't sure originally, just because Oak sound like the way he talked, he didn't sound like Oak. Like the voice didn't sound just like Oak's, but the way he talked sounded just like the way Oak talks. So like the just the cadence of his voice and everything, I'm like, he really nailed it.
He's a good one.
Yeah. But then the real Oak and Mary show up, and Joy is confused and points out that Oak and Mary are already there eating breakfast. And then kids show up to talk to the real Oak, and they're upset about his answers from the day before. Then when the gang shows up, Misty is babysitting Brock again with an ear pull when he flirts with Mary, which I thought was interesting because he never actually did that when we met DJ Mary the first time. And I had assumed he would.
We met DJ Mary before? Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, but he never had to be babysat that time around. Like, he said that she was pretty or something, I think, when they saw her on, like, the billboard or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know we met DJ Mary because I was impressed with that episode overall.
Yeah, you liked it a lot. It was a high-ranking one for us for that season. We also now have a rockin' reunion with DJ Mary. Because, yes, we have met her before. When the gang learn of the imposters, Brock takes a closer look at fake Mary, and he freaks out because that thing is not Mary.
Oh my!
And I always find it amusing that his attraction to women is like a superpower sometimes. Like, oh, that's not a real boy. That's not Ash, because it's a girl. Because I can just tell. Wait, that's not Nurse Joy, because I know Nurse Joy. It's just really funny. The two Oaks and Marys argue about who is real, and Misty comes up with having a contest to see who the real Oak is, and Nurse Joy will be the judge. Then we get our Who's That Pokemon trivia. Some communities are built on groups of these. We actually had an episode about that.
Yeah.
There's another amusing moment when the Marys are both hosting the competition, and Brock says he can tell which one is real because she is so much more beautiful. So fake Mary leans in and thanks him, causing Brock to freak and cower because there is something way scary about that Mary. He is not attracted to that one.
No, not at all.
When the quiz begins, Oak rings in too fast on the first question because the question turned out not to be finished, so he gets a wrong answer. Then fake Oak is panicking, and so he says he has amnesia, which then happens to be the answer to the question, so he lucks out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have a question that reminds Ash and Co. of the Jigglypuff seen from above question in that episode where they were trying to earn the special badge to just skip ahead to the Indigo League.
Yeah.
So Oak gets the answer right, and now we have a tie game, and so Meowth interrupts the event and gets the Oaks to do a poetry battle instead of answering one more question.
I was like, oh no, because he's bad at poetry.
He's not bad at poetry. We find that out. Because Joy knows a ton about Pokemon poetry and says that she knows who the real Oak is because he actually did a real, like, well-constructed poem. Meanwhile, all that James did was have one that rhymed.
Well, yes. But, like, back at the diner, even Ash and company were like, oh, he does not have his ways with poetry. So when they suggest poetry, I'm like, because I didn't know Nurse Joy would actually know all that. So I'm like, this is not going to be good because he's bad at poetry.
When Wobbuffet gets antsy, Meowth falls out of the costume and the gang know Team Rocket is around and they perform an interesting intro.
Now playing the part of Professor Oak.
We hope you enjoyed this little joke.
Now I present who we really are. They try to escape with the catered lunch, and Oak uses a Pidgey to cut the food free and gusts Team Rocket so hard that they're blasting off again.
Ding!
After everything's settled, we catch up with Team Rocket hanging off a branch, and James has a catching catchphrase of a poem as the branch cracks and they all fall. Those little twerps don't seem so tough, but we always end up blasting off.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Corsola. And our tallies are Evolution, Babysitting Brock, Rockin' Reunion, Interesting Intro, and Catching Catchphrase. Now let's rank it.
I think it was probably in between Whichever the Way the Wind Blows and Same Old Song and Dance. So under Whichever the Way the Wind Blows.
So you think it's better than Same Old Song and Dance?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're ranking it, Daddy.
So I am. I'm leaning towards just under Apparent Trapped and above Enlighten Up.
Okay, that sounds good.
Those are both, that's still above Same Old Song and Dance, so.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes Will the Real Oak Please Stand Up number 20 out of 36.
Now that we've ranked it, let's go to Season 5, Episode 37. Wish Upon a Star Shape. Or Pito Pipito Nagare Boshi. Or Pippi and the Shooting Star. Really? They go to 1 exclamation point. After doing 4, I thought they were finally going to redeem themselves. But they go to 1?
It's a one sentence again. And then, yeah, Pippi, I believe, is Clefairy. So P is Cleffa. Basically, it's just another, like we had the Igglybuff and Jigglypuff last week. Now we have Cleffa and Clefairy.
P-P-A-P. P-P-A-P.
P-P-A-P. I got a apple. I got a pen.
Apple pen. I have pineapple.
Yes. Alright. Ash and Co are hanging out at night with all their Pokemon, and they admire the moon. Then they see a quote-unquote spaceship that looks pretty familiar, and we get more continuity because they recognize it and even flashback to Clefairy Tales where they'd seen something similar. And not just similar, it is the same group. We'll find out.
Good job. Good job remembering. Bravo.
Something falls out of the ship, and Phanpy catches it on its back. It is a Cleffa. Spying on the group is a man and woman in dark suits, but they don't look like normal Team Rocket. The ship...
They're not.
Spoilers. The ship then crashes in the distance. Cleffa wants to get back to its ship, and the gang are going to try and help it. Then we see our regular Team Rocket trio is spying on the group too, and they want to get Pikachu and Cleffa. And then they see the other duo rush in and start measuring and taking pictures of Cleffa, the duo that were in the dark suits. Those two believe Cleffa are aliens. When Ash asks who they are, they give us an introductions motto sort of thing? And I wasn't sure. Do you think this counts for a modified motto?
I don't remember. What did they say? Do you have it written down?
I do.
I think it should probably be a modified motto.
Wherever there is mystery in the world,
there will always be Pokemon to be found there as well.
And we'll be there too.
The Pokemon Mystery Club.
PMC. I'm Ken.
Mary.
And that's how far they get with that intro.
Oh.
And since we don't have any established thing, we can't even say it's interrupted. That's just what they do. Then they want the gang to hand Cleffa over for research. They are insulted when the gang suggests they could be Team Rocket. And then Team Rocket appear, offended at PMC's description of Team Rocket, and they give an interesting intro.
Prepare for trouble because you've got us all wrong.
I'd prefer you make it double if you want to, then sing along.
Team Rocket and PMC want Cleffa and get ready to have a conflict. PMC quickly builds a nifty net launcher out of some cases they had of pieces for the device. They try to get Cleffa, but Phanpy rushes off with Cleffa on its back, and Pikachu zaps PMC and destroys their machine. The gang rush off to follow Phanpy. Team Rocket is out in the woods looking for the two Pokemon, and James complains how Phanpy has always been disloyal to them.
Really? Really?
I thought that was so funny.
That made me think, like...
Did you see the episode where he got hatched?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because Team Rocket stole him for a little bit, and they thought he was... James is still relying on the fact that he thought it was theirs, I guess. It's just really funny. Anyway, Meowth tries a divining stick, and PMC show up and put together another machine while mocking Team Rocket's stick. It's a radar of some kind, and they find out where Cleffa is. And then they pull out of their bags more stuff and put it together into a big bulldozer. Like, how did you build that out of what? Like, you couldn't be carrying a bulldozer everywhere you went, even if it was in pieces.
I thought that part was extremely funny.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe they just used, like, triangle or something and made it mainly hollow on the inside.
But then it wouldn't be a very good bulldozer.
But they were using, like, the triangle thing where it's pressured on one point, spreads out to the other 2 points.
Sure.
So...
I doubt it, though.
Like a 3D printed bulldozer.
Good call. I like it. We'll say that's what they did. Phanpy and Cleffa get cornered at a cliff, and Phanpy headbutts a tree until it falls, and then they cross the tree to the other side. PMC try to follow with a harpoon, but their harpoon is deflected by a Team Rocket bomb as they float across in their balloon. But then, PMC latches onto the balloon and won't let them continue. The gang then cross the tree and get ahead of the two thieving groups and make it to the crashed ship. There we get our Who's That Pokemon trivia. This Pokemon's true identity is a mystery. Which, honestly, is not a great clue. But you know what it looks like in the silhouette? Jigglypuff from above! It's not a Jigglypuff. It just looks like that picture. Anyway.
Take that clue.
All the Clefairy are there, and even one with a flower in its head, which proves that this is the same group from Clefairy Tales, unless Clefairy just always give their leader a flower to put in their head. Phanpy gets Cleffa there, and they're all happy. Then PMC and Team Rocket arrive, and Team Rocket's balloon transforms into a Meowth-shaped busted bot, using the balloon as its head. Which I thought was hilarious.
That was intriguing.
Busted bot?
Yeah, whenever they have their big machine bot things.
They always break, so...
They always get broken. Even if they don't, they're just busted bots in general.
Oh.
I can't think of a time they haven't been broken, but doesn't matter. PMC puts together their secret device, which is some weird robot vehicle, and, I would argue, another busted bot.
Oh, probably. When they build it, though, they keep building these random things, but they use the same animation for each one.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Throwing little pieces around.
Yep. But before the battle can get going, Team Rocket's bot is completely torn apart by the Clefairy. And then so is the PMC's bot.
Because they want to build their ship back
They need the pieces for the ship, just like in Clefairy Tales, where they stole everything to build a ship.
But yeah, you came up and were telling me it was super funny, and then I paused it because you were talking to me, and then I unpaused it, and they started taking apart PMCs, and I was like, oh.
Yep. So good.
Funny.
So Team Rocket and PMC decide to work together, but PMC is now all out of their fancy devices.
And then Team Rocket's like, well, call PMC headquarters!
Which they can't because they're the only members.
Yeah, they're like, well, it's a very excluded club. It's so excluded, in fact, that there's only... Exclusive, that there's only two members.
Pikachu stops the team up and happens to charge up the spaceship too, it looks like. Just like he had to before. He was the power source last time.
Yeah.
Then Phanpy uses Rollout, and Team Rocket is blasting off again with PMC! Ding! Cleffa can't make it to the ship in time, as it is lifting off, and Cleffa chases, and then... Evolution! And now Clefairy can fly and catch up.
And Vampy's sad because he's been helping Clefairy through the whole thing.
Yeah, he's super sad, and he even has like a whole montage of memories of their time together, which wasn't really all that long.
I know.
It was all in the same evening.
Right. But he grew attached very quickly. But it kind of reminded me of the Togepi and Houndoom episode.
Oh, yeah.
They were sad to part as well.
Yeah.
Devastating.
And then we catch up with PMC as they try to solve crop circles, and they give us a modified motto of their last motto, and this time it even rhymes. To seek the truth that sets us free.
To solve another mystery.
Accept no other sub.
Pokemon Mystery Club.
PMC. And then that's that. But we have some trivia. The PMC, when they do that, they actually do the letters. Like,
with their arms.
With their arms. Except that the letters that they make up are not PMC, but PFC. Because in Japan, it isn't Pokemon Mystery Club. It is Pokemon Fushigi Club. Which Fushigi does mean mystery, so it's the same thing. But nonetheless, they do a different letter.
Yeah. PMC? You're not doing your motions right.
And I know Fushigi is mystery just because of Bulbasaur's name and Ivysaur's name and Venusaur's name in Japan. They all start with Fushigi because it's like mystery seed, mystery grass, and mystery flower or something like that. Mm-hmm. Fushigi Dane.
Okay, well, our Who's That Pokemon? It's Voltorb. And our tallies are 2 modified motto, an interesting intro, 2 busted bots, and an evolution. Now let's rank it.
It was definitely not one of my favorites, or like even really a good one for me.
Sure.
It was hilarious.
So I think I'm placing it right above Some Like It Hot. Because the hilarious definitely makes up for it.
Yeah, it definitely had some amusing stuff.
I don't like this Boyle's rankings.
It's okay.
Oh! Well, some are fine.
We can override if it's something that's specifically super good, like, Houndoom's delivery or whatever. If he was like, oh, that's like bottom of the list. And we're like, nope.
But I like this one. It was funny.
Yeah, it's fine. It was amusing, but...
Because we're both throwing in the knockout and in lighten up.
We definitely disagree on the knocked out one, so...
That goes below and lighten up.
So you want it right under whichever way wind blows?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well then that would put us at 29 out of 37. And yes, we can say that Ruby would like that higher, but based off our rules with allowing Flame to tweak our rankings these episodes, it has to be that low.
Some of them are fine, but... Come on. Oh, right. Well, now we do Season 5, Episode 38, Outrageous Fortunes, or Nyorozo no Shinka, or Nyorozo's Evolution.
Who's Nyorozo?
Poliwrath.
No, it's Poliwhirl.
Poliwhirl. I knew it wasn't Poliwag, but I couldn't remember the second one.
Poliwrath can't evolve.
And they just did 1 exclamation point. They're failing me.
It's one sentence again.
I will come back to you if they ever don't fail me.
Ash and Co. are in a new town and see a battle happening between a Hitmontop and a Poliwrath, and Poliwrath wins. Ash wants to battle, and the guy is totally willing, but Misty gets in there and battles instead, since she has a water Pokemon. So obviously you have to have a water Pokemon battle. Ridiculous. She uses Poliwhirl and loses. She encourages Poliwhirl, saying he'll get to be a Poliwrath someday. Now, let's take a moment. Did we run into something like this before?
Yes.
Where?
I remember running into it. I don't remember where.
Gold. When they saw the picture of Red with his Poliwrath, they're like, you'll be a Poliwrath someday.
Oh.
Hint. The same thing happens here. That happened to Gold. Then Ash battles using Bayleaf. Team Rocket is spying on the battle, and they decide they are sick of trying to catch Pikachu. Jessie says the reason they keep failing at getting Pikachu is because they need a stronger Pokemon first.
Wait, you need a stronger Pokemon than Pikachu to get Pikachu?
Yes.
That just doesn't add up.
So they are going to steal Poliwrath, and then use that to catch Pikachu. Okay, dumb idea in general of trying to catch a stronger Pokemon to catch a Pokemon you can't catch, but also a water Pokemon to go get the electric Pokemon? Come on, Team Rockets.
What? Should they get a ground Pokemon?
Well, not for Pikachu, but still.
Okay.
At least that takes something that's weak to it, though. Anyway, Brock calls the match a tie between Ash and the other guy, whose name is Delaney, because Poliwrath is way worn out from all the battling it's done that day. The gang head to the Pokemon Center, and Chansey is mopping the floor, so Ash slips on it, and all his stuff gets scattered around, including his King's Rock. Where did he get the King's Rock again? I don't remember.
Oh, he got it from a competition.
Was it a competition?
Yeah, I think it was one we didn't think he should win, like maybe that Snorlax one or something.
Oh, the wrestling one? That could be.
Yeah, it is. I
Okay,
remember.
that makes sense. Yep. All right, cool.
Look at me.
I knew he had one when I saw it show up. Like, I forgot about it, and then I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, he does have a King's Rock, but then I couldn't remember why or where, because it wasn't the bug catching competition. That was the Sunstone.
Mm-hmm. Look at me remembering things.
Good job. High five. So Poliwhirl picks up and examines the King's Rock and is still holding it when Misty brings him back into his Pokeball.
Oh, he held an item.
Yeah, they did the right thing here. Sort of. Ash then hands his Pokemon in to Nurse Joy. Meanwhile, Delaney comes across Jessie disguised as a fortune teller, and James and Meowth as those that have benefited from her fortune telling. It's all a plot, and they basically use it to steal Delaney's Poliwrath. He realizes they're stealing from him and chases them down, and the gang hear him calling out, and so they join the chase as Team Rocket rushes into another interesting intro.
Prepare for trouble, I'm predicting the worst.
And make it double, because you heard it here first.
Team Rocket fly off, and the gang end up falling down a hill and landing in a truck full of hay when they continued the chase. That's when Ash realizes he doesn't have any of his Pokemon with him because he turned them in to Nurse Joy, which happened in that Chikorita episode too. Team Rocket try to command Poliwrath, and he just beats them up. Doesn't work at all. Because, stealing Pokemon doesn't get them to listen to you.
Mm-mm.
The gang find another Pokemon Center, and they have all their Pokemon sent to them there from the other center, which I thought was kind of cool, that they could do the transfer stuff.
Well, didn't they do it in, one of the very first episodes? They're like, start transferring all the Pokemon!
Yes, I think so. And then we get our Who's That Pokemon trivia. This Pokemon depends on its pincers when battling. The name is right in there, just so you know.
Pokemon?
Yes, you got it. Yeah! Actually, it's trivia, you silly goose. Anyway. We find that Team Rocket is controlling Poliwrath with some contraption they forced onto him and use him to battle an Ursaring. The gang show up and battle Team Rocket. Misty has Corsola break the contraption off of Poliwrath, and it lands on Jessie, and she drops the controls, which lands in Meowth's hands. He's excited about it and gives us a catching catchphrase as he tells Jessie, I choose use! So he's using Jessie as a Pokemon. And he even tells her to do certain abilities, and she's like, I can't do that, because she's not a Pokemon. You like Hyper Beam or something.
No,
Actually, that was James.
Oh, was it James? I don't remember.
Meowth was doing it right, and James is like, I want to turn. And he's like, Fire Blast and Hyper Beam, and it's like, I can't do that!
Well, why not?
As the battle continues, James sends in Victory Bell, and we get a distracted Pokemon. And Misty finally calls out Poliwhirl. And then when they see that he's holding the King's Rock or wearing it or whatever, we then get an evolution. Poliwhirl becomes not Poliwrath, but Politoed. And which means we also have a gotta catch 'em all. Because Misty has a new Pokemon.
Yahoo!
The only problem here is I think you have to trade the Pokemon with the item.
It's fine.
Which did not happen here. In the end, Pikachu thunderbolts Team Rocket, and they are blasting off again!
Ding! Ding! Ding. Who's that Pokemon? It's Pinsir! I thought you said it was trivia.
I may have lied.
How rude. Tally's interesting intro, catching catchphrase, distracted Pokemon, evolution, and gotta catch 'em all. Now you get to...
Gotta catch 'em all.
Now you get to rank it.
This one is actually pretty good. I really like this one. I think it is probably going to number 5. So that means below Same Old Song and Dance and above Hocus Pokemon.
It looks like you've just ranked this episode for me.
What do you mean?
Those episodes are right next to each other currently in our ranking.
Oh, so I ranked it for you?
Yep. I don't even have to make a choice.
I just hope you guys are happy with that choice.
I'm fine with it. That puts Outrageous Fortunes in our number 23 slot out of 38.
Alright, well let's do Season 5, Episode 39. 1. Trick Phony. Or Batoru Paku Tai Kamekasu Rizadon Fushigibana. Or Battle Park versus Kamex Lizardon Fushigibana.
Which are Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur. On the way to Blackthorn City, Ash gets a trainer battle with a girl and her smoochum, and Brock is infatuated with the girl. The battle doesn't go far, as Ash is about to win and the lady ends it. She's tired out, and Ash really wants to battle more. So she points them in the direction of the Battle Park. At the Battle Park, Team Rocket is working there, like legitimately working there, polishing park balls. The place is closed that day, and since no one else is around, because the boss or whatever has to go do some errands or something, Team Rocket pretend to run the place to catch Pikachu. So they bring Ash out to the park and then vanish to change their disguises to be trainers in the park. Now Ash gets ready to battle the random Pokemon Team Rocket brought out in Park Balls. Brock is going to judge it all, and James jumps in first to battle. He ends up with a Venusaur, and so Ash throws in Cyndaquil for the type advantage. Hey, looking for type advantage. That's always good. However, Venusaur ends up winning after a challenging match. Ash actually appreciated the challenge and practice. And then we get our Who's That Pokemon trivia. This Pokemon is as stubborn as a bull.
Jessie!
I like it. Now Jessie goes in, and she tosses in a ball and gets Charizard. So Ash tries Totodile. It doesn't look good at first, but then Totodile pulls out the win. And these battles are pretty fun to watch, and they're really cool, but I mean, I'm not going to give you the play-by-play.
With James, I like how he got power happy and was like, with Razor Leaf, I chopped down a gajillion trees.
Then Meowth wants his turn, but Jessie runs in and gets another Pokeball because she has to, make up for her loss. And once you know it, it's Blastoise. And before, when she was using Charizard, Meowth tried to, give her a book on what moves he has or something like that, and she didn't listen, so she's going to use one this time. So Ash brings in Pikachu, which is what Team Rocket wanted him to use the first time, but he kept using other Pokemon, because he was being smart for once. And this one's actually a smart choice, too. Jessie decides to go by the book this time, and because of that, wastes a lot of time flipping through the book to find out what she can do. And so she's doing a lot worse this time. And when Pikachu is winning, Jessie sends in Arbok, and a mech hand grabs Pikachu, and Team Rocket reveal themselves with another interesting intro.
Prepare for trouble with a capital T.
Make it double. We're on a stealing spree using Park Pokemon Potpourri.
I really liked that last part for James because he, rhymed Jessie's, but then rhymed even, he rhymed it twice. And it was really cool.
Go, James, go.
Yeah, this is going to be a short recap on this episode because a lot of it is battling, and it was really cool, but we already got through all of it now.
Gotta see it for yourself.
You do, you just gotta watch it. I really enjoyed the fights, it was good stuff. And Ash was, actually utilizing it well and taking it well, Anyway.
Well, he just thought it was a fun practice place.
Right. But, he was not, getting upset at losing or any of that stuff, so...
Mm-hmm.
So, somewhere after the interesting intro, the group starts shouting at one another, giving us an irritating interruption, because the motto is left on the wayside when they get into an argument. A worker from the park shows up, while Team Rocket is getting away with Pikachu and a bunch of the park balls with Pokemon in them.
And it was the same one who went shopping.
Yeah. Totodile and Politoed use their water gun moves to free Pikachu and send the balloon crashing. Now they're all outside of the park, and Team Rocket send out the 3 starter evolutions to battle the gang. But the Battle Park worker explains that the Pokemon are obedient when in the park. So instead, the 3 work together and send Team Rocket blasting off again!
Ding!
And Ash is feeling good about the training, and they continue on their journey to Blackthorn.
But when the Pokemon turned on him, their faces were quite menacing.
Oh, yeah. I love it when they're like, it's time for us to get revenge. All the Pokemon. Pikachu, everybody.
Yeah. Alright, who's that Pokemon? Oh, it's not Jessie, it's Tauros.
Same thing.
I guess.
This was one I actually knew.
Then Ash should have her in a Pokeball. He's got a lot of those Tauros.
Yeah.
And our tallies are an interesting intro and an irritating interruption. Now, let's rank it.
This one was a really good episode. I think it's going on, number 3 on my list.
Which puts it where?
Above, will the real Professor Oak please stand up? And below, whichever the way the wind blows.
Well, I kind of liked Hatching a Plan, I think, more than this one. It was stupid but funny.
Well, do you like it better than the race one, though?
Probably.
Okay. So then probably right between those?
Yeah, I think that's where we'll put it.
All right, so then that makes it 26 out of 39.
Alright.
Now, Season 5, Episode 40, I Politoed You So. Or, Niroto no Jiag Dingu.
Sure, let's go with it.
Okay. Dang, I have to say that one word again. Or Nirotono's cheerleading.
Nicely done.
Yes.
And that means Nyorotono is Politoed.
It sounds more like Tauros.
So the gang is taking a break by some water and eating lunch. Everyone, including the Pokemon, are really enjoying the food, and Cyndaquil too much as it starts choking. Ash rushes in to help it, and Cyndaquil unleashes all the food along with a flamethrower in Ash's face for some friendly fire.
We haven't had that in a while.
Right? It was fun to see again. Later, everyone is sleeping, and Politoed wakes up to get some food, but has to chase it down a hill where he is discovered by a lady who mistakes him for her Politoed named Bean. She's also mad he lost his headband, and when she drags him back, quote-unquote, home, we see the real Bean watching them go.
And he's sad.
Actually, in that spot, I don't think he looked that sad, he just looked confused.
I guess he did.
He definitely is sad later.
I expected him to look sad. That's probably why I thought he was sad.
Sure. Back at the lady's place, all the other Pokemon she has, some Flora, Jumpluff, and Blossom, crowd around Politoed, and the way they act helps reveal to the lady she has the wrong Pokemon. But the way they react to his clapping, she sees an opportunity for her cheerleading squad of Pokemon. Misty realizes Politoed is missing, so the gang go out to look, and they fall into a hole. Team Rocket reveal themselves with an interesting intro.
Prepare for trouble with a hidden pitfall.
Make it double if you're up for a brawl.
And they have an outstanding outro.
Team Rocket can dig a hole at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare for one nasty fight.
Out with the light!
Because then they cover the pit with some sort of mechanism that
Yeah, like
makes
a
it
big
dark.
lid or whatever.
Yeah.
Then Bean is sadly walking by and hears the commotion and gets involved. Meowth goes to battle him and is quickly licked. And so Team Rocket try to recruit him, but the gang get out in time to stop that from happening. After a thunderbolt from Pikachu, Team Rocket is blasting off again!
Ding-a-ling.
Misty realizes that Politoed is not hers. So the gang end up finding the lady, Tammy, practicing with Politoed and her squad of Pokemon cheerleaders. Bean is not happy to be replaced, and Tammy is kind of mean about it, still upset with Bean for going missing. When Tammy learns Misty owns the other Politoed, she wants to use it for her upcoming competition instead of Bean, which makes Bean sad. And he's just like all the way off in the other part of the the courtyard or whatever, just looking so sad. Like I felt so bad for him.
Poor little Bean.
Oh man, I knew after watching it, I'm like, I'm feeling emotion. Ruby's gonna be super sad.
So sad, poor little Bean.
So yeah. Anyway, Misty wants to fix the relationship. Team Rocket is spying on the group, and they have another boss fantasy about bringing the cheerleading Pokemon to him. Bean leaves, and Misty tries to convince him to come back and apologize because he and Tammy are both being stubborn. When it doesn't work, the gang splits up, and Ash and Pikachu go to talk to Bean, and Misty and Brock go to work on Tammy. Pikachu and Ash end up failing their attempt, and we get our Who's That Pokemon trivia. This Pokemon's jaw is capable of crushing anything. Tammy is begging Misty to use Politoed and will catch up later to return it after the competition. Tammy claims the competition will make her famous and she can use that to bring happiness to people everywhere. She practices with Politoed and does a whole performance for Brock and Misty. It's almost perfect, but after Politoed gets to the top, a jump pluff's foot slips and they all crash down. And then we see Tammy's true colors as she completely loses her cool on all of them and she shames her Pokemon. Misty intervenes and is upset with Tammy for caring more about the failure than the possibility that the Pokemon are hurt. Tammy lost sight of her childhood dream and the way she used to care for her Pokemon, and she falls apart. Lesson is learned, and so the Pokemon forgive her. But then Team Rocket arrives with a busted bot that is a cheerleading Politoed.
Because it's got the little pom-poms in its hand and everything.
Yup. They scoop up the Pokemon and the people. Ash chases them down and falls into a pit with sticky stuff, and they snatch Pikachu from him. So Bean has to come to the rescue. He frees all the Pokemon and people that were in the container, and before Bean can get stepped on, Tammy rushes in and puts herself in danger to rescue him. A battle starts, and the pair of Politoed take out Arbok and then soak the machine where Pikachu is still caught in a mech hand. And the machine was supposed to be all electric proof, but now it's covered in water. And the water pours down to where he is, and he sends electricity all over the machine, exploding it. Team Rocket say they've been there, done that, as they fly off again. Ding! Bean is back on the squad, and relationships are mended. Then Ash and Co. head back on their trek to Blackthorn.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Totodile. Our tallies are a friendly fire, interesting intro, outstanding outro, boss fantasy, busted bot, and off again. Now let's rank it.
I think I'm actually going to place this one above whichever the way the wind blows. So, below Enlighten Up and above whichever the way the wind blows.
Alright, cool. Let's see, what do I think of it then amidst those episodes? Well, personally, I would probably put it under Throwing in the Noctowl, because I really like that episode. Well, and probably under As Clear as Crystal then, too. Ooh, but, Yeah, I don't know. I think that's where I want it. Do you have an opinion on that, Ruby?
That sounds pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I liked the episode, but at the same time, it was not, I think the biggest part of it is that I actually felt some emotion watching it. But most of it was okay, whatever. And so.
Yeah. Well.
So then that puts I Politoed You So, number 30 out of 40.
Now moving on to our final episode this week. Season 5, episode 41. The Ice Cave. Or Kori no Dokusu. And this is the one that is completely in Japanese.
Which is why we don't actually have another title. The Ice Cave is probably just the transliteration of Kori no Dokutsu, which is Ice Cave, I'm sure. I don't know if it's Cave of Ice or Ice. It's probably Cave of Ice, so Dokutsu might be Ice and Kori Cave? I'm not sure. I get a little confused. One of those words is ice and one of them must be cave. Alright, so our band episode. It wasn't dubbed because like, they had already had some of the Jinx episodes translated, but they eventually took them off the air because of the way Jinx looked. And by the time this episode came out, they had already been taking them off the air, so they just never bothered dubbing this one because they weren't going to release it. And because of all of that, there are certain things that we would probably find tallies for if they had actually dubbed it that won't exist. But we will count the ones that we can catch. So, like, if they did an interesting intro or a modified motto, we don't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can't do that. So starting off, we had some different scenes that showed up during the opening and a different song. Because they have their own... But some of them were the same.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. It's nice to see their version of the intro.
It was very interesting.
I actually look forward to someday maybe being able to watch them all in Japanese.
Yeah.
And we start off with the gang, who are actually Satoshi, Kasumi, and Takeshi. Ash, Misty, and Brock. Discovering that Fusube City, or Blackthorn City, is just beyond a mountain in front of them. And they have a fork in the road to choose which way to go. One is a normal mountain road, and then one is the ice cave, which is a shortcut. And Ash, of course, chooses the shortcut. Just like the time they all ended up in a snowstorm up on a mountain and Ash nearly froze to death. Team Rocket is spying on that decision, and Jessie, who's actually Musashi, comes up with a plan. The cave is slippery, and the gang slip off into a pit in front of two snowmen, who are just Team Rocket. And they give us a motto as of course they're the ones who created the pit and everything, but again, I don't know what their motto is normally like, so I couldn't really tell you if they changed anything. They decide to hose down the gang in the ice cave, but then Pikachu sends electricity up to them, and Misty has Politoed water gun them out of the cave, sending them off with a bad feeling again. Ding! And I have learned that that's something they say in the Japanese version every time when they take off. We have a bad feeling, or this is a bad feeling, or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they don't say blasting off. However, since they had gotten wet, Takeshi, Brock, catches a cold. Fortunately, there's a Pokemon Center in the cave, which we did not get in our ice bath. And then when they find it, Takeshi gets care from Nurse Joy and her assistant, Jinx. When taking Takeshi's temperature, he is so excited about Joy being there that his temp rises, of course. Misty wonders about that, and Ash is clueless. While in the waiting room, we find out that the Joy from the Joy of Pokemon episode from the Orange Islands is this Joy's elder sister. She has a picture of that Joy up on her wall.
Elder clone sister.
Yes.
Wait, what?
We believe that the Joys are all clones.
And Jenny's.
There was a picture on... yeah.
That's why that one was so wacky, that one Jenny, because she just didn't turn out right.
Ah, that makes sense.
That could have been the first clone.
Joy explains there is a big air conditioner in the cave that keeps everything iced over to keep the ceiling from collapsing. I thought that was all a weird plot, but okay.
Like, isn't the ice cave just cold?
No, the reason it's the ice cave is because of their air conditioner, apparently.
That just don't make no sense.
It's weird. Team Rocket is spying and decide to steal the ice Pokemon and have another boss fantasy about supplying them to Giovanni.
They kept gotten a few of these lately.
That's why I started counting them. So Team Rocket finds the air conditioner and sabotages it to get Joy and the gang to go investigate. This will take them away from the Pokemon Center. Back at the center, Brock imagines having a lovely conversation with Joy, but it turns out it's just Jinx and he's being a little delirious.
And they kiss.
Yeah, they have a big old kiss.
It was really weird.
It is. An alarm goes off and Joy finds the temp is rising in the cave. And then we get our Who's That Pokemon break, which is a whole different look than what we get.
Yeah, it was really weird and interesting.
And it doesn't give us a hint on what the Pokemon is or the.
Well, if it does, I don't know if it does or doesn't, because it might be in Japanese.
Might be, but it had subtitles.
True, but they subtitle the hint might be written on there. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't see.
I can't remember.
That was just really weird.
Yeah.
I like ours better, but that was interesting to see.
In Japan, they always did the featured Pokemon of the episode, was the one they did the Who's That Pokemon for.
They did that with a few episodes, I don't know where, but an English version.
Yeah. Oh.
I like that.
So they did give us a hint.
Sort of. It's just going to be the featured Pokemon. And this, when the image shows up after the break, she's even wearing the nurse cap. Because it's just Jinx with the nurse cap.
I thought we were going to mention that at the end.
Yeah, I'm spoiling it now. Joy and the gang rush out to investigate the air conditioner riding on a sled pulled by Piloswine. When they get there, they find the hot air the machine puts out has been redirected inward, and outside, where it is all tropical since the hot air used to go up there, is now cold because it is being air-conditioned now. The Pokemon out there are in danger, so the gang all run in to deal with the issue and fall into a pit trap as Team Rocket predicted they were going to come there. Team Rocket rush off to steal ice Pokemon, and the gang climb out of the pit and fix the air conditioner. Back at the center, it is getting hot because Team Rocket have set up a bunch of heaters. Takeshi tries to fight Team Rocket off with Geodude, but he's still sick, and it doesn't go well. But the gang arrives to help out, and there is a battle that includes a Victory Bell distracted Pokemon moment. Kojiro, James, yells at Victory Bell and seems to call him an idiot, which I thought was interesting because they don't usually use that kind of harsher name-calling in the American version.
Well, also, a little bit earlier, I'm pretty sure Brock might have even said a swear word. I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't remember that part, but I might have just missed it. The heaters are destroyed, Team Rocket's Pokemon are frozen in ice. Hey, they finally have ice Pokemon. And Satoshi's Pikachu thunderbolts Team Rocket, sending them shooting into the sky with a bad feeling again.
Ding!
A-ling.
After saying goodbye to Joy, the gang head out the other side of the cave, and there is Fusube Lake. Blackthorn Lake? Fusube? Because that's Fusube City. And Takeshi says Fusube is just on the other side of it. Then we get a fun end credit song and a really cute moment with Pikachu dancing with Togepi, Bellsprout, Piloswine, and Jigglypuff. Did you guys watch the credits at all?
No.
I did start, but then I had to do something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
what.
some of the dance moves and stuff were just adorable and amusing. I don't know.
I was tempted to watch, but I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
Sure. So now, trivia! So I learned that Jesse's name is Musashi, because I could never understand what they're saying, so I looked it up. And Musashi comes from a famous swordsman named Miyamoto Musashi, which is why I think Usagi is named Miyamoto Usagi, from the rabbit samurai stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks like Jesse's mother, apparently, is named Miyamoto, so together they are Miyamoto Musashi, which is just kind of fun. But then, another famous swordsman was named Sasaki Kojiro, and Kojiro is James' name. And there's a famous battle between Musashi and Kojiro, where Musashi kills Kojiro.
Oop.
And James is named after that guy, while Jesse's named after the one that killed him.
That makes sense.
Seems fitting.
Because she killed his spirit and made him bad.
Yep. So I thought that was all kind of interesting, because you probably weren't around for it, and maybe I've told you before, but Jesse James is the name of an outlaw in the Old West.
Sounds familiar.
And Butch Cassidy, the other Team Rocket duo, there's a guy named Butch Cassidy who was also an Old West outlaw.
Fancy. Okay, well, I guess we've already said our Who's That Pokemon. It's Jinx with a nurse cap. And our tallies are...
With a nurse cap.
With a nurse cap. And our tallies are a boss fantasy, because they wanted to give Giovanni ice Pokemon. And a distracted Pokemon. Victory Bell. Period.
Yep. Victory Bell. Period.
But no, let's rank her.
I want to put this one on the bottom just because it was only in Japanese, but I know that would frustrate some people. And it was still a good episode. I think the real reason why I didn't like it is because I was watching it while
working on stuff, so it was hard to actually keep your eyes on it the whole time, which you kind of had to read everything.
Yeah. I'm actually probably going to put it above Same Old Song and Dance and under Will the Real Professor Oak Please Stand Up. So my spot number 6.
So do you think it is better or worse than Enlighten Up, Ruby? That's all you have to decide.
Better. Better is always... Yeah. Enlighten Up. It wasn't a bad episode. It just...
Yeah, I know you didn't seem to like it. I actually kind of enjoyed it. But you have a very different opinion on the idea of being enlightened, so...
Like, what? Enlightened? You're gonna spend 10 years of your life trying to reach enlightenment? Just go be a person.
just go be a person.
YOLO.
Alright, so then that puts Ice Cave at 21 out of 41.
Now we catch a Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I think this one's probably pretty easy. I mean, there's a couple options, but I'm pretty sure I know.
There's options, but I think I know.
Well,
I think I know.
It's between
Hold on.
2/3 Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it just has to be that one.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Politoed.
Let's go! Politoed was great. Does that mean he gets a Ultra Ball?
I don't know, maybe. We all agree, so it's definitely a great ball, maybe an Ultra Ball. We'll have to figure out how our system works a little bit more in the future.
Okay, well, now that we wrapped all that up, let's jump into Pokemon cards.
Woohoo!
This week, we're doing our Journey Together openings again. This time, I'm doing Iono and Bellybolt.
I got what we believe to be Lily and Clefairy.
And I have who must be N with his Zoroark.
Nice.
Alright, I have a Paris, grass type. I have a Wingull, water type. I have a Swinub, fighting type. I have Shelmet, grass type. I have Hops Bag. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Hops Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Ooh, I have Pangoro, dark type. I like Pangoro. He's the big panda guy.
I think I've seen him before.
Oh, I have a Grimmsnarl, evolves from Morgum, psychic type. My first reverse holo is a Pelipper, evolves from Wingull, water type. My second reverse holo is Caterpie, grass type. And my rare is Noivern, evolves from Noibat, colorless. Ability, Tuning Echo. If you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, ignore all energy in the cost of Frightening Howl used by this Pokemon, which normally it costs 3 energy for him to use.
Nice.
And I have a basic Psychic Energy card. And you guys kept getting all the, people, didn't you? All I had was one Hops Pokemon.
Poor you. I got a bunch of Ns stuff. Even my rare was Ns.
Alright. I got Caterpie, a grass type. Magmar, a fire type. Hops Wooloo, a colorless type.
Hey.
What?
You got a Hops card. That's
Oh.
fine.
Bagon, a dragon type. A Trainer Stadium, Levincia. Once during each player's turn, that player may put up to 2 basic electric energy cards from their discard pile into their hand.
I think that's Iono's town.
Oikalone, colorless type, evolves from Lechonk. Benetta, psychic type, evolves from Shuppet. Enz Kling Clang, metal type, evolves from Enz Clang, of reverse holo. Oh, I love this Pokemon! Kamola, colorless type, another reverse holo. Hops Dubwool, evolves from Hops Wooloo.
Nice.
Hey! That's awesome! A colorless type, Definite Horn. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to the active spot. Oh, that's always good. That's my rare. And then my energy is a lightning energy.
My cards. Ens Jarumaka, fire type. Noibat, colorless type. Alolan Geodude, electric type. I thought he'd be fighting. Oh no, that's regular Geodude. He's the fighting one. Lotad.
So funny.
Lotad, water type. Hops Cramorant, colorless. Stop. I just get all their Pokemon. I want my own Pokemon.
Well, this is Journey Together for a reason.
Maractus, grass type. Ability, Exploding Needles. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Cinchino, evolves from Minchino, colorless. Then I got Reverse Holo Sentret, colorless. Reverse Holo Swinub, fighting. My rare is Butterfree, evolves from Metapod, grass type. She's flying over a sea or the world or something. and then a Dark-type energy. Alright, well, we got some cool stuff, but that concludes our episode for today. Routes Through Pokemon is a Hunterfield Institute production. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and other podcasting platforms. You can also find us on YouTube at the Hunterfield Institute channel. Just look for the Routes Through Pokemon playlist. So please like, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you find us. And if you want to get in touch, email us at hunterfieldmanor@gmail.com. You can also find Shaylock on X at HunterfieldIns or Instagram at kinetic_card. We also have a Routes Through Pokemon Facebook page where we post our latest episode rankings, tally counts, and Pokedex entries. Next week, we will be covering 3 more chapters of the manga and 6 more episodes of the anime, which will bring us to the Blackthorn Gym and a little beyond. So thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next route. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Adios.
Part 44. Lightning Strikes.
Oh, come on! Where is it?
Violet searched all through the grass, looking for the Pokeball that had her newly caught Abra in it. But with the torrent of rain cascading down from a dark, roaring sky, it was a nearly impossible task. Then, just as she was about to give up, there was a flash of lightning, and she saw something floating in the nearby water.
Is that...
Violet squinted through the rain and stepped a little closer, stretching her neck as far as she could to try and see if it was her Pokeball. It looked like it could be, but she couldn't be sure unless she went in after it. And that wasn't going to happen. She'd already seen the lightning strike the water once. Looking up in the sky, she caught a glimpse of movement through the drops of water pelting her face.
Spur! Think you can help me out?
The Spearow banked around and swooped over the water.
You see that in there?
Violet said, pointing out what might be her Pokeball.
Can you grab it?
Spur gave an affirmative caw and swooped around to snatch up the Pokeball. A flash of lightning streaked nearby, and the Spearow pulled up from the water and veered left to make sure it didn't get struck. Then it made another pass, this time swooping over the object and the water while flying toward Violet. It dove toward the ball and snatched it up in its talons as more lightning flashed. That was followed by booming thunder. Beating its wings furiously, Spur was closing in on Violet. The lightning almost seemed to chase the Pokemon, taking shots at it that the Spearow dodged. Just as it tossed the ball into Violet's hands, there was an explosion of light, and Violet blacked out. When she came to, she had skidded through muddy ground in the tall grass. Her body ached everywhere, and she could just hear the last rumblings of the boom of thunder that must have accompanied the lightning bolt that had struck nearby.
Spur, you okay?
Violet's voice was weak, and she was struggling to muster up the strength to sit back up. A small cry from the Spearow answered the girl, and it did not comfort her. The poor thing sounded hurt.
I'll be right there. Just give me a minute to get up.
It took a lot of effort to get to her knees, and as soon as she did, her head began to swim. Her vision blurred, but she caught a glimpse of a wing flapping lazily. Violet felt like she was going to pass out at any moment. So, instead of climbing to her feet, she fumbled around for Spur's Pokeball. Swaying back and forth, Violet aimed it as best she could toward her Pokemon, and then summoned it inside. And then she tipped over, and consciousness was lost. Violet could tell that there was something really bright beyond her eyelids, and it was giving her an awful headache. She knew opening her eyes would just make it worse, and so she covered her face with one arm.
Oh, you're awake.
The sound of another voice nearby caused Violet to jerk back, and she hit her head against something hard, causing it to throb harder. Instinctively, she had opened her eyes as well and was blinded by the light from a lamp.
Whoa! Hey, sorry. I didn't mean to scare you.
Violet still couldn't see very well, blinded by the light and pain, but she did start to realize she was no longer being rained on. She could still hear it coming down, but it seemed more muffled. Then she pat the ground next to her, and finding it wasn't the ground at all, but sheets, blankets, and a mattress.
Where? Vermilion City Pokemon Center. Oh, and how? My sister and I worked to bring you inside.
Violet blinked a couple of times, trying to adjust to the light, and soon she could see the room, and, in one corner, was a chair, a table with an open book placed on it, and standing next to them was a friendly-looking woman. Rubbing her temples, Violet offered a weak smile to the woman.
Thank you.
The woman offered a smile and gave a slight bow of her head.
Of course. Wasn't like we were just gonna leave you laying out there in the storm. I'm not even sure what happened out there.
Oh, we saw the whole thing.
Chirped an excited voice as a girl rushed in.
We were at the underground entrance and waiting for the storm to pass when we saw you running around trying to catch the Abra. Good job, by the way.
Violet frowned as she tried to keep up with the high voice that was causing her head to hurt even more.
And then kakashoom! The lightning hit the ground really close to you and you went flying.
The loud sound effects made Violet wince, and the woman seemed to notice.
Not so loud.
Oh, sorry.
So I was hit by lightning? Basically.
The woman replied almost apologetically.
You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and then when we saw that happen, we decided we couldn't let you just keep laying there. So we ran out into the storm to get you.
Violet was stunned by the news that she had nearly died, but then that reminded her Spur had been right by her when the lightning had hit. What had happened to him? She immediately felt for her Pokeballs and found they weren't there. A quick scan of the room turned up empty as well.
My Pokemon, where are they?
She asked, hesitantly.
Oh, we turned most of them into the nurse. They're being well taken care of. Most?
Well, yeah, you had too many on you. And the nurses have to limit how many can be cared for at a time, you know.
The younger of the two said.
Too many?
Violet thought to herself. Her head hurt too much to think it all through, and so she decided to just get some answers out of those that rescued her.
How many did I have? 7, I think. Right, Rosella?
Yep, the last one is in this drawer.
The girl pulled open the drawer and tossed a blue and white ball onto the bed near Violet. With a sigh of relief, Violet knew that if there was 7, then that meant Spur had made it 2. She took the ball tossed to her and saw it was Paris that was inside. That was the only one who hadn't needed to be patched up.
Wait a minute,
Violet said, suddenly connecting some dots. She looked at the young woman and said,
Did you just call her Rosella?
Of course she did. That's my name.
As in Rosella Ratchet? As in the most recent Indigo League champion?
To be continued.